Visakha, known as the City of Destiny, is spread on the coast of Bay of Bengal in Andhra Pradesh. Being an abode of natural beauty, this city attracts a large number of tourists and is developing by leaps and bounds. Andhra University, which gained national prominence with its unique style of offering higher education, is situated in this city.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, my fellow friends. It's a very happy to see you again on the same platform on the same Sunday at the same time. Hope you all are doing good. It's happy to see you all on the Sunday evening. First of all, I thank Professor PVGD Prasad Reddy Garu, our Honorable Vice Chancellor Garu, for giving this virtual Tech Talk platform where we could bring many experts and let them talk here so that it could benefit the students in the Andhra University, not only in Andhra University but other universities and colleges as well. I also thank Professor P. Srinivas Rao Garu, our principal Garu, for giving this wonderful uh, opportunity to host the virtual tech talk platform as initiated by AU College of Engineering, the Andhra University Visakhapatnam. A series of tech talks are being hosted by the General Interest Topics Avenue, which is also known as G.I.T.A. G.I.T.A provides an online platform for the enrichment of technical knowledge of student fraternity of University and other universities as well. G.I.T.A includes technical by domain experts and scholars to share their views and expertise for the budding engineers of India. In this connection, Gita, a series of tech talks are being hosted by AU College of Engineering and being streamed via YouTube Live on the AU Tech Talks channel every Sunday at 7 p.m. So please tell your friends, your family friends, and also your classmates about this platform so that they can come here and see the videos and get benefited. Now, today I will host the screen to today's anchor, whose name is Mayur. Mayur, the screen is for you.
And this is a very good introduction for our Gita, General Interest Topic Avenue. And now, this evening, we are presenting you a wonderful guest with an amazing career and who is a proven leader with a solid reputation and an extensive experience in energy and construction sectors. And he is Yashwanth Ram Garu, who is CEO and co-founder of Amplify Infra, Hyderabad. He is also CEO and founder of Generate Energy Solutions, Hyderabad, Manufacturing Engineering, Infotech America, East Hartford, connects it. And now we are bringing the guest, honorable guest, onto the live streaming. Yashwant Ram Garu, over to you.
So it was a nice introduction by Mayu. Thank you, Mayu. Now, Yashwanthram sir, we can take the platform.
Thank you, Mayur. Thank you, Vinit. Good evening, everyone. I must thank firstly Professor Mallikarjun Garu for this opportunity to interact with you today evening. And we will quickly go into the presentation. I mean, like the talk. I'm sharing the screen with you guys now. So the topic for today I've chosen is how to test your startup ideas during your college days, because most of the students have very good ideas when they're in during college times, and now the ecosystem is also supporting students to try out ideas during their college days. So I thought this would be an apt topic to relate, and you will relate to it. So I'll give you a small introduction of my journey, like how it has been so far. I'm a localate. I'm born and brought up in Vizag. I've done my mechanical engineering from Gayatri Vidya Parishad. After that, I've done my master's in robotics and supply chain from New Jersey Institute of Technology in New Jersey. And 2 years I've worked with Pratt & Whitney and designed aircraft engine parts, and we used to do design for manufacturability and assembly tests over there. So the initial thought was to gain some experience and then come back to India and do a startup. So I came back to India in mid of 2011, and I was exploring solar sector for a very long time. We started off as a small startup with solar rooftops installation in Visakhapatnam. And from there, we scaled to doing power plants of the scale 50 megawatt also. And the company in 2012 was a 4 lakh turnover company. From there, it grew to, in 2018, by the time I left, it was a 30 crore turnover company, 30 crore per year. Profitable all the years. And we scaled to transmission line substations also. Then I've seen a lot of problems of scale and cash flow issues and other issues like inefficiencies in infrastructure, like construction sector. So I wanted to change my perspective, went to ISB, did an MBA over there. And there I've got the idea for my second startup, Amplify Infra, which I'm heading right now. And we have tested the idea in ISB. I mean, basically, ISB has given us a platform during the education time to test our idea in different competitions. So I'll explain that in detail going forward. So brief introduction about our company. Like Amplify Infra is a design supply build marketplace. Basically, what we are doing is we are creating a marketplace for construction related services and supplies. So if anyone wants to get a design or only a supply of items or like cement, steel or anything, also they can contact the marketplace. Or they want to do a turnkey construction solution like a commercial building or a residential building. We have our own contractors who we are partnered with. We can do the entire project management as a turnkey solution. So how our journey started? I mean, it started in one of the classrooms in ISB where we were trying to see what are the inefficiencies in the infrastructure and how we can solve them. Like buildings are being built, but they're not really sustainable. They are not really energy efficient or net zero buildings. Everyone is building steel and concrete buildings, but they're not aesthetically designed or sustainable. So with that mission, we wanted to, our central core point is to help build beautiful and sustainable buildings. So there is a lot of inefficiency, as I said, in construction sector in all the three domains like design, supply chain, and building process also. So we are using technology as an enabler to solve the problems in these three segments. Right now, we are providing supply chain solutions where we have a marketplace listing over 200 vendors and merchants who sell on our marketplace. And also, we have a turnkey project management tool where we provide turnkey solutions for home construction and residential apartments, and even sustainability projects. The major pain points that we are solving for our customers are any construction project that you might have heard must have had time delays and cost overrun. So these are 85% of the projects have time delays and the cost overrun, like exceeding the budget. So, and the pricing is non-transparent in this construction sector, except for in the government projects where there is a standard rate for each item. Where other than that, in B2B and B2G, B2C home construction or apartment construction, it's very non-transparent pricing. And there is information asymmetry. What happens at the site and what is the information is not being relayed back using the right project management tools. So these three problems we are trying to solve using technology. So that is about Amplify Infra. So why should anyone start up? Coming back to the topic now, the talk. So what is a startup? Anything that solves a major problem and can be scalable faster and is addressing a pain point of a customer is and which can solve the problem in a faster, better, and cheaper way is a startup. So why do you need to solve? Why do you need to take a problem to solve it? You should have a why. What is the problem that you're trying to solve? For us, it is the inefficiencies in construction sector. For you, it can be climate change, or it can be carbon capture, or maybe you want to do something like Swiggy or like home delivery of food and other items. Wherever there's, a problem, there are many problems that can be picked up in this world. But when you pick a problem, choose a problem that has a very large market, because operating in a larger market will give you the flexibility to choose and pivot the idea as and when required. So also, when you choose a problem, talk to people. Do they really have this need? And also know who is your customer. If people don't have the need and you're building something for them, it will be like Motorola building a satellite phone way back in 2000. So then people were not even using mobile phones extensively, but Motorola has built a satellite phone and marketed it. So it is way ahead of the technology curve, and it was not adopted. So why is it the right time to do a startup? Because the world is increasingly becoming digitized. The technology is taking up, and all the sectors are being, influenced or disrupted by technology. So there is no sector that will be left in the next 20 years that won't be touched by technology or digitized. So, and venture capital in the last 30 years, venture capital has grown extensively, and even in India after 2012, after the initial success of Flipkart and Snapdeal and other companies, venture capital has been flowing very freely. And last week itself in India, there have been $118 million that have been raised by startups only in 1 week. So when you figure out a solution, you think about it. Can you solve it on a scale? Is the problem solvable on a scale? Like Swiggy has taken a problem and solved it at scale. I mean, that problem can be, it's a universal problem. Like food delivery is a universal problem. So they have tried to solve it at a scale. I mean, initially they tested in a small market, but then it has to be repeatable in a larger market. And people must be willing to pay for your solution. If your solution is not adding value to their lives, they will not pay anything for your solution. So, investors expect startups to build scale. Why blitz scale? And to know that before we should know the difference between a startup and a lifestyle business. Startups will have high growth potential, and they use technology to build a repeatable business model that can be replicated across geographies. As we have taken the example of Swiggy earlier, let's now take the example of Uber. Uber started in New York with 4 taxis. Initially it was only one car that these people were driving and trying to. They made the app, and people are trying to book it over there. And then they have hired 4 to 5 cars, and then they started and testing the idea. Then there was an instant surge in the bookings. So then they have replicated the model, and they've hired more cars. And startups do have network effects, like Uber. In the case of Uber and Swiggy, once more number of restaurants are there on the platform, or more number of cars are there on the platform, it will become more valuable for the customers also to book to come on to Uber and book a cab. If customers are there on the platform and cars are not available, it would be a demand supply gap. So then people would not be willing to use Uber. So that's what. It's a chicken and egg problem, but you have to scale both the sides equally. So lifestyle businesses can be anything like a restaurant or a saloon or a grocery store. These are geographically constrained and cannot scale beyond a point without a large amount of capital. So these are typically profitable businesses. They are not, and then there's nothing wrong in doing a lifestyle business, but these cannot attract investor interest and cannot scale beyond a point. So investors would not be interested in lifestyle businesses. So what is blitzscaling? Blitzscaling is trying to scale a startup. Before you scale a startup, you'll identify a market where there is a opportunity or a gap where you can become the market leader. So when you're trying to become a market leader, it is important to scale fast. Like important to build your technology fast, grow to more cities. Initially, it will not be profitable, and a lot of cash burn will be there. That's why we need investors when you're trying to scale faster. If you're trying to build a lifestyle business, you can do it with debt or your own equity. But startups, high scale startups and blitzscaling startups are chaotic. they try different things, and they have high impact on the problem they are solving, and they add a lot of value to the customers. And investors expect startups to blitz scale. Then only if it's hyper scalable, only investors would be willing to invest and take the initial losses. So, what are the major factors in a startup success? I mean, idea, yes, definitely, the idea is the key for the startup success. But that's why I'm asking you to choose a large market, so that even if your initial idea is not successful, in the larger market you can build something that is useful to your customers. So, and it's always good that you solve a problem that you're personally faced, so that you will be more attached to it to solve the problem. Like Redbus, Funny Samindra has solved the problem. He was unable to book in 2005, I think. Yeah, he was unable to book a ticket online for coming back to festival. So then he created a platform called Redbus, and he has he has onboarded all these transporters, on the platform, and then you know the story of Redbus and where it went and how it scaled. So there is a clear problem that was not being solved. So he took up the problem, and he has an tech expert. So he built the platform and onboarded those both sides of the platform, both the customers as well as the bus operators, and he scaled the platform. So, I mean, when you choose the idea, also choose a market that is at least $10 to $15 billion in size. Don't choose something that is very niche. If it's a niche market, then you should not have much competition. You should have your own USP, like your own products or your own formulas or something like that. So to have an edge, or have your own technology which is patented that can give you an edge in that niche market. And the major and most important thing for any startup is the team. The team that you build will make or break the startup. A strong team that will stick together through thick and thin would definitely see the success of a startup in 1 to 2 years or 3 years down the lane. So any idea that you try to execute, it will take at least minimum 2 to 3 years for you to reach a certain point, which will be liked by the investors or even by the customers. So initial days will be very tough. So having people who understand your vision and who are relating to the problem is very important. And always aim for building a cross-functional team. If you are building an electric vehicle or something like that, have a team that has mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, as well as IT engineers, and even business people who can market the product. Don't try to have only one side of the strength, so that it will eventually fizzle out. So have a diverse team that will help you build a great product. And you need not build the entire product on the first try. First, you have to build a minimum viable product. It can be like for Amazon, it's basically the minimum viable product initially was a website, just a website with few thousand titles of books, so that they can pay using a link, and they can get the book delivered. That is the minimum viable product Amazon has created. From there, it has scaled to different categories, it has set up its own logistics network. It has set up its own servers. It is different thing. The journey is different. In 1994, it is just a website where you can order books. And if you go, there's a website called timemachine.com. You can see the various websites in the early stages, how their web pages were or their apps were. You can't see apps, but web pages you can see on that timemachine.com, like even Amazon or Airbnb, how the initial websites were. Airbnb is now a recent $100 billion IPO that happened in US. They have initially started as a air bread and breakfast because they were having a problem of paying rent. So they wanted to rent out their home to people who are visiting for events in the vicinity, like in California. So they tried to rent out. They put some air beds, like a bed which can be filled with air, and just you can sleep on it. So air beds, and they have offered some breakfast. So they've tried out. They put up ads in Craigslist initially and try to attract people to the website. So when they had a good experience with the people over there who came in over there and paid for the service, then they started building on it. Even a very big tech VC like Y Combinator has written off that idea. So when people write off your idea, don't get disappointed. People will write off ideas which are highly successful also. So the major validation will be your customers. If customers are willing to use your service or buy your product and pay for it, then you have a market. So initially launch a basic website or a basic app. There are lot of no code platforms, or you can use a lot of tools these days, automation tools that need not have a lot of coding to be done. So these can be used, and an initial MVP can be launched. So now let's discuss about a lean startup framework. Lean startup framework has been put out by Eric Ries. He's the initial PayPal co-founder. This has been adopted by many, all the startups that are successful. So initial idea will be there. You envision something like, I want to create a payment gateway for for merchants or something like that, and customers to pay for it. So then what are the different ways to do it? You'll jot it down, and then you build an MVP. Now payment gateway is basically a QR code is attached to a payment gateway. But initially, maybe in 2007 or 8, when you're trying to do it, it might not be the case. So you have to build a solution that is as on date, or a bit futuristic, but not too much into the future, so that customers also are willing to easily use the solution. So build the first version of the product, deploy it, use Google Ads or Bing Ads for deploying your product and or service, and keep your website live, run some ads, see if people are clicking on the website, or people are searching for those keywords. One more thing that you can do to build a product is keyword research. If you can go to Google and do a keyword research tool is there. You can research the number of searches for your product or service, so that you can clearly identify that there is a market for your product before you build it. So these things will help you save time. Which is very important when you're trying to start up. So build an MVP, deploy it, run some ads, see the number of clicks that are coming for your website or the inquiries that are coming for your product, and then where customers are clicking and where customers are not clicking. If there's something is not working, drop that idea. Even like Uber Eats has not been a successful idea for Uber, so they have sold it to Zomato, which is a the Zomato's core competency is food delivery and food services. So they have Uber's core competency is moving people from point to point. So they have thought food will not be a value proposition that they want to have on the app. So they have sold it off. So ideas should be dropped when they're not working. If something is working, then you have to really make it scale. Like see what are the energy that you can put, and what are the channels that you can use to make it scale. So until you get the positive feedback from the customers, keep building, keep iterating. This is a continuous process. The product will not be fully finished at any point of time. People will be wanting new features. You will be adding new services. So it is a continuous process. So doing small experiments will help you save capital, time also. And as most of you guys are college students, how can startups be started in colleges, or how can students get help from colleges to do startups? Ideas can come from classrooms. Facebook was born in a dorm room in Harvard. Google is a PhD thesis of two students, PhD students from Stanford. So Google algorithm has been developed by them during their PhD days. Then they went on to build a search engine based on that algorithm. So even real life situations will help you build solve problems. Like I have faced a problem when we are trying to renovate a building of ours in Visakhapatnam. We were not able to find a single agency that will be able to do all the carpentry, electrical, plumbing, painting, and all these renovation tasks together. We had to source a carpenter, an electrician, a painter, and source all the materials from the market. It was a tedious process for my single mother to manage it. It was tedious, so I had to go there and stay for 3-4 days and try to arrange for all of this stuff. Then I thought, being in infra sector, for me it was a tough problem to solve. Then definitely people are facing this problem. Then we spoke to other people. They said they also faced problems when they try to build a home or build a renovation or interior project. So then we started this Amplify Infra and trying to solve those problems. So college competitions can be a test bed for your startup ideas. There are a lot of global competitions as well as local competitions that happen in colleges. So you can present your business plan over there, get validation from the audience or even the professors that are monitoring that a contest. You can get good ideas, your ideas validated, so it will give you confidence to try and build a startup. So if you have a thesis like an idea, try to validate it in one of the competitions. That give you more confidence. The kind of questions you'll face from customers also you'll know. Reach out to your professors. They are very knowledgeable. They have seen more of life. So, and if you have an idea, reach out to them, ask them how things can be done. So because in the next slide, I'm going to tell you about a startup that was helped by a professor to start. Professor has helped a startup start in IIT. So I'll explain more about it. And also, most colleges like IITs and AU, Andhra University have patents that have been filed and not commercialized. So you can look at which patents in your university or in different universities that have been patented, technologies that have been patented and that have not been commercialized yet, and they can be given for students to start up and do the commercialization. It is being done in Singapore. I've seen it in NTU and NUS. When we went to the competition in Thailand, we have seen these two universities, Nanyang Technological University and National University of Singapore. Both of them get ideas from their patent library and showcase them in the contests. One of the ideas was a a needleless testing of blood sugar. So that idea has been patented by one professor and one team. So these people have started a company based on that idea. Some other person has commercialized it actually. So use your resources well when you're in college. The incubation center, go to the incubation center, learn of the upcoming programs or funding resources that they have, or explain them your idea. See if they're interested in doing a POC, like a proof of concept, or see what problems that technology problems are being faced in your college, and how can you solve them. So, and libraries are a good resource. Use them when you're there in the college. It will help you guys. And reach out to alums. AU has almost 100-year heritage, so you can build connections. You can use LinkedIn to reach to alums and alumni, and try to see if they're building something. If you can join them as a intern and learn from their startups or from their companies that are also already being sustainable and doing well. And if possible, choose good real problems that can be solved as your academic projects. Don't just do it for the sake of doing it, because this time, I mean, you have a lot of time during your college days. Out of experience and regret, I'm telling you these advice, because a lot of time will be wasted during your college days. But if you can try something and prove an idea, that might take you somewhere and make you the next billionaire also, who knows. So earlier I was stating a example, right? Ether Energy is an EV scooter manufacturer in India. It's like the Tesla for India. These two guys have started this company in 2013 in IIT Madras Research Park. A professor has helped them sustain for a very long time, for a couple of years when they were initially building a POC. IIT Madras has initially helped them with a lot of stuff. So they have raised a lot of funds. Hero Motors has invested in their company. Hero Honda has invested in their company. They have raised more than 700 crores in the last 7 years. And they have built a beautiful product. Like it can compete with any world class scooter. It has a range of 125 kilometers and a top speed of 80 or odd kilometers per hour, and it has a battery life that can be charged in of more than 2-3 years battery life. They give warranty. It's a beautiful product built out of Bangalore in India. So that's why, I mean, this is one of the successful startup stories that has come out of the Indian ecosystem. So I think you guys can relate more to it if you can go to the website and look at how it started and how it happened over the time. And government of India is also being very supportive to startups. In a way, Modi government has been very supportive to startups, and they are trying to promote a lot of sectors. They have recently startup has been selected to supply drones to the Indian army. It's a 100 crore deal that has happened to an Indian startup. That's a very exciting, and it is kind of self belief that Indian companies also can compete with foreign companies and build technology. So in Startup India website, if you can go there, there are a lot of challenges that Startup India is organizing. Different challenges in robotics, drones, healthcare, IoT, SaaS products, and agri-tech, biotech, etc. And if you register your startup with Startup India, they give you 80% discount for patent filing fees, and as well as there is an income tax exemption for 3 years. And Indian government has mandated PSUs, public sector units, and as well as government agencies to procure 5% of their public procurement from startups, where you will be exempted for EMD and initial fees. So it is one area you can explore. Like Indian government has launched a gem marketplace where various services and even products can be sold by merchants across India. So these are the few initiatives being taken by Startup India, and a lot of impetus is being given by Modi government. Also, they're trying to even CB, the bank, is trying to give startups loans without collateral, and even Yes Bank recently has come up with 5 crore up to 5 crore loans for startups without any collateral. So you can use these opportunities to build a scalable startup. So and as we discussed earlier, these are the few books that you can read and few frameworks that you can adopt. Lean Startup Canvas. Lean Startup is the book by Eric Ries, the PayPal co-founder. Earlier we have discussed about the Lean framework. So you can use that framework to iterate and improve your product. It's a continuous process. You won't get it right the first time. Maybe it will take a year. For some people, it will take 3 years. Many startups, even if you see Swiggy or even Urban Clap, they've started with a different. I mean, the sector was the same. They've started with a different idea in the same sector, and they wanted to solve the same problem, but the model has changed over time. The delivery model has changed over time. So you have to continuously pivot and persist to outrun your competition, and you need funds definitely. Because the startup must not die in the early stages with the lack of funds. That is the one of the major problems after co-founder fallouts. That is the major problem that happens to startups. 60% of the startups don't make it to the third year because of either co-founder conflict, or maybe market fit is not possible, or finance is not there to prove the idea. So there are various ways to raise capital. The best and first way is to bootstrap, like build an MVP with whatever capital you have, or you can arrange or try to approach your college incubation center and try to see if they can fund the MVP initially, and try to then show it to customers. Then if customers are there, then you can raise a round of with friends and family who are interested, who believe in you, and otherwise go for debt from banks or someone. Or if your idea is really scalable and has got enough traction, then you can approach VCs like Elevation Capitals and Sequoia. There are a lot of VCs that fund the Indian startups who you can approach them. And there are angel networks also, like Let's Venture, where you can pitch your idea and they will help you raise capital through a network of micro VCs. So that is also an opportunity. Now, recently, venture debt is one upcoming funding model. A lot of companies are raising venture debt when the promoters are not willing to part with equity. And it's a good thing to do when you're building a large business, to have considerable equity for yourself, so that you can get the outcome of it, a good outcome from it. So you have to have traction. Without traction, there will not be venture capitalists or even venture debt that will come to you. So the business in the long run should be profitable. Right now, it should, even if it's not profitable and you're growing fast, it should be growing fast if it's not profitable as of now. But it should be profitable in the long run. And always look at the larger picture, because there will be adjacent opportunities when you build a business. Like say Amazon. Amazon has built a business. I mean. There's an error over here, but Amazon has built the business on e-commerce. I mean, e-commerce was the major business, but they have built sub businesses like ancillary units in logistics. Amazon has its own Prime network for delivery of their goods, and they have built AWS, their own servers to have the enough uptime of the website, because earlier they were facing problems regarding uptime. They had surge of customers, and they wanted more bandwidth during Good Friday or events like that, like Flipkart Great Indian Sale kind of a thing. So when there's a surge of bandwidth required, so many server providers were not willing to give it. So Amazon has put up its own servers and sold its additional capacity to other people. So that's how Amazon has built AWS, and it has scaled up to be a very profitable venture. Amazon Prime, to retain customers, they have started giving free video also to Amazon Prime customers. Now it has become a business of its own. Flipkart also, the main business was e-commerce. Then they built a logistic network. E-Cart is their logistic business. They have made it a separate entity now. And PhonePe, that you guys mostly use, is also built by Flipkart initially to solve the problem of payment gateways for their COD and other applications, cash on delivery applications. So PhonePe also is now $1 billion startup. It's valued at more than $10 billion separately if it separates from Flipkart. So how you can test your ideas? I mean, there are a few global competitions where you can apply. It is open to all colleges and all streams. So HALT is a global challenge launched by Bill Gates, actually. Bill Clinton, and it has been running for the 10th year now. So they fund. They fund around $1 million of funding to startups that are solving sustainable problems and sustainable development goals. Like there are 17 SDGs which are being solved. So if you're solving for climate change or for food or for aquaculture or education or cleaner power, these are the SDGs that are listed. You can check them out on United Nations website. So they fund a single startup out of the entire world with $1 million. A regional competition would be held in each country, and startups would be finalized and sent to the global competition. Even Andhra University can host a regional competition. You can apply to them. It starts somewhere around August, I guess. The process around July, August every year. And Y Combinator is a very big venture capital firm that has backed companies like Airbnb, even Indian companies like Razorpay has been backed by these guys. Even Razorpay and other companies are there who have graduated from Y Combinator. And Y Combinator invests in startups, 150,000 for 7% equity. They invest in 100 odd startups per year. Twice a year they do it. So around 200 startups get the chance to get invested around the world. And they have a YC startup school program where they have a 8-week program where you interact with different founders from around the world, and you learn through classes that they conduct. It's it's a free program, and if you startup has made good progress, they track your progress also, what progress you're making. You need not have a company to apply for that. You just need to have an idea and progress traction. So once the traction is visible, then they might even give you a grant of $10,000 for each startup, and also they might take you to the Y Combinator program also. The SASN business challenge is one challenge that we have gone through. We have won the top prize over there. It is conducted in Thailand by SASN Business School. It's a global competition, Asia's biggest global competition. So 70 schools 70 colleges from around the world participate in it. We were the only college selected from India at that point of time in 2019. And there is also SMU HSBC Startup Challenge and LeakOn global competition. And recently, a couple of days back, Elon Musk has introduced a challenge for carbon capture, where he's giving $100 million grant for startups developing carbon capture technology. So that is one area you guys can explore if you have good ideas. Even a Startup World Cup is there, and Startup India has many different challenges. BITS Conquest is one good contest you guys can participate. There are a lot of good startups that came out of BITS, like Swiggy and other companies. So, and corporates also do hackathons. You can go to websites like there will be a few websites where you can go and search for corporate competitions like Bosch, Fortis, Flipkart, and all these people give a problem statement. If you are not able to identify the problem statement, this will be a good idea. I mean, already these corporates are facing few problems, so you can solve those problems and try to build a business out of it also. I should have listed few websites over here that could have given you an idea of which competition, I mean, where you can find these competition details. But I'll do one thing. I'll share those details after the talk with Vinil. Yeah. So even Atal Innovation Labs is doing a very good work in India. I mean, this is part of Modi ji's startup initiatives. So there are 36 Atal Innovation centers in India. 2 of them are in Andhra Pradesh also. We have been incubated earlier at D-Labs ISB. So ISB D-Labs has helped us out in different like getting mentors or industry connects with banks and other things like that. So you guys must approach these Atal Innovation Centers and try to. It is still open for all colleges. Any college can apply for an Atal Innovation Center and set it up. So that would be a great thing if more colleges set it up in the next few years, and more people get accustomed to entrepreneurship and create large enterprises. So these innovation centers would have startup events, challenges, and startup talks every week or every month or every fortnight. So you guys must take an opportunity to engage with these incubators or these labs and try to do big in that to get your big idea funded or build an MVP. So in Hyderabad, they have this T-Hub, very good resource over here. They have a makers lab. They have even in Triple-IT, they have all these makers lab where you can 3D print or you can prototype and all this stuff you can do. So even I think other areas also like Visakhapatnam also must be having stuff like that. And you can go and build your POCs over there. So this has been our experience. Like we have applied for around 5 business competitions. We have been finalists in 4 of them. One of the business competition, as I said, was the SASN Business Challenge in Thailand. We went to Thailand that year in 2019. It's a 4-day competition. Around 25 business schools from around the globe have participated. We are the only one from India. We are 3 members from ISB group, and one friend of mine has also joined us. And we won the top prize over there, the sustainability award over there. And what helped us was like we had a diverse team. One of I had experience in solar and business side of it, and Seshu had experience in sales, and Chandan had experience in IoT and tech building. Dheeraj had experience in marketing. So these 4 people came together. ISB has helped us connect with few mentors in Deloitte who are at a managerial level to build the business plan and make the presentation and everything. So that helped us win more number of awards over there. Not only the top award, we won the best presentation award and other awards also. So I mean, so that's what I mean. You take your college support, apply for these competitions, and try to see where you can try your ideas and get a, validation for the idea. So leverage your alum network. I mean, it's close to around 1926. Is the year AU was established, I guess. I mean, so it's close to 100 years of heritage, and you'll have more than 10,000 alums who are in different parts of the globe and doing well. So you can reach out to them. They can help you set up initial meetings with companies or partners or ecosystem partners or investors also, or maybe some of them will be willing to invest in your ideas also. So ask them for advisory or mentorship. Mentorship is very important when you're building a startup, because most of the days will be tough. So you need people to hear you out and tell you what is right and what is working, what you need to try more. So you need mentors. So you can ask your professors, or you can ask your alums also to be your mentors. It'll really help your startup. I mean, a good mentor can take you through his experience and help you avoid few of the problems. Build relationships, network, attend industry events, startup events. LinkedIn is a good resource where you can send anyone an invite, connect with them, send them a message, interact with them. So you can build a good repute for yourself. So the startup ecosystem is, these are the few competitions that happen in startup ecosystem. F6S is one of the platforms where you can go. F6S.com is the platform website where you can go and see what are the competitions that are happening around the world and in India also. Kalari Capital has K-Start, and we have already discussed Y Combinator and YC Startup School. Sequoia has Sequoia Search program where they're even willing to fund disruptive ideas, which is just an idea stage. You do not have an MVP or anything. If your idea is disruptive enough, and if they think you are fundable and you have the scale to grow, then they'll fund you. Lightspeed Venture has a program called Extreme Entrepreneurs. So that is one program you can try. Let's Venture is a micro VC. So they help you reach out to micro VCs or venture capitalists who will be willing to invest in your sector. You can list on their platform, and they will help you raise capital, and they take a fee of 1.5%, I guess, to raise the capital for you. So this can be one good resource that you can see. You can follow these people on Twitter or LinkedIn to get the updates from them. They do a lot of periodic programs, so it's good to follow them if you're thinking of starting up anytime. So also you can use Your Story or TechCrunch and LiveMint and all these websites to see successful or upcoming startups stories and research on your idea. If someone is trying to build a similar startup, you can use the Crunchbase or AngelList and Startup Tracker to see if someone is building a similar idea somewhere in the world or somewhere in India, because ideas are no one's monopoly, and a similar idea must have struck someone at some point of time. So it's good to learn what they are doing and what is working for them and what is not working for you. So it's always good to see these websites like Crunchbase and AngelList and Startup Tracker and try to research on your idea. Like, is your idea already being done, or where is it in the startup ecosystem? I mean, like in the startup journey, is it in a very initial stage or is it already proven? Just try to do some research on it before you start. And this is the disclaimer. I mean, startups are tough. So before you start up, uh, know yourself well. So you should have the courage and strength to withstand a lot of no's. So even from customers, investors, and even family and other stuff. So you have to have the courage to stand through it. A good team is a non-negotiable. You can't. There's nothing that will replace a good team. If you have a good team, your idea might be wrong, but you're still your team. If your team is good, you can eventually get to a better idea. But if your team is wrong and if your idea is great, also you will never make any traction. So first 6 to 12 months, try to bootstrap, build an MVP. Don't try to raise investment from the day one because raising investment takes at least one co-founder to work full time. I mean, almost like dedicate 60% of his time to run around for investment and pitch his idea. So having a couple of other co-founders always helps. So that's why build an MVP that will help you part with lesser equity when you go for a investment round. It takes a couple of years to reach a minimum viable product. So don't give up early. Iterate, pivot if required. You will pivot. Don't worry. All the big startups, all the big ideas have pivoted and persisted. So you have to pivot and persist. Even this journey would be there will be a lot of uncertainty when you do a startup. So try to embrace it. When you're younger, it's easier to embrace it. You'll have a lot more energy and enthusiasm and courage to do it. So, I mean, if you want to get some experience a couple of years before you start up, also try to do it. Try to get a couple of years experience. That will also help. And do a startup after that. Or if you want to do direct from after college, also there's nothing wrong in doing it. It's always good to take forward an idea that you worked in college and try to make it big. So find good mentors who can help you scale on your journey personally as well as professionally. They'll help you both the ways. And it will be a roller coaster ride. That much I can promise you. It's not going to be simple, and there'll be a lot of highs and lows that you'll be going through. And it's always good to have good co-founders who also are good friends. So it's always you can share with them your pain or your ideas or just whatever comes to your mind, and then again get back to work. So it always helps. So these are the few things you now need to remember before you're starting up. So it's a fun journey. I mean, when you have a good team and you're working on a good idea, it'll be fun. The earlier you start, maybe better. In my case, I started early, so it helped me build a niche for myself. So that's it. Yeah, I mean, this is a famous quote from Steve Jobs. Thank you for this opportunity, and try to make a dent in the universe. Whatever idea you're picking, go for a large scale. Try to build like a sector-defining company, like a Tesla or even a Swiggy or an Uber, a sector-defining company that will change the customer experience forever. That's what sector-defining companies do. Apple is a sector-defining company, so all of us stand in lines to even buy Apple products and all this stuff. So that should be. I wish any one of you or few of you can do a sector-defining company and make make good name for Vizag in the global startup ecosystem. All the best. If you have any questions, I'm ready to take questions.
Yes, sir. This is a very interesting session, and in this we have seen your own experience and very live examples, real lifetime examples, and this is very exciting to hear this from you, sir.
Thank you.
And now this session is open for everyone, and there are few viewers who has posted their questions, and now we would request you to answer them, sir.
Okay.
What is the biggest factor that has helped you to be successful?
Biggest factor is persistence. I stick with my ideas for a long time. I try to see what is working, what is not working, and be flexible. If something is not working, I mean, we should be willing to admit it. It's not working. Try to see what is the learning that we have from it, and try to see if there's a different method by which we can solve it. So being persistent and having grit is very important for an entrepreneur. So these two things, I think, will make a difference in the long run.
Oh, yes, yes. And here there is another question, sir. What is the most important part of your whole business journey?
I will give it to learning. Learning has been the most important part of my journey. It has kept me humble, and also it has, I mean, it has opened many new avenues for me. Learning new things, talking to new people, being open to new ideas. So, I take it as a learning experience. It's not about the money or even the name that you would make, but end of the day, the impact that you can, your business or you can do on this world.
Oh, yes, sir. Learning is a great opportunity, sir. Even Andhra University is an avenue of such a place, sir. And I would happily share that Andhra University is very soon initiating its incubation center, working with its full potential, sir. And we would request your insights for its mm, useful functioning, sir. So that's something good to be done for the society. Mm. And it is very interesting that you have explained the journey of behind the reasons for the Amazon Prime or AWS, how PhonePe has been created by this Flipkart, and I think it is mostly useful for the people who want to go start their own centers, start their own businesses. The schemes that the government is being provided right now, sir. And yes, sir, that's all. It is. Thank you for this interactive session, sir. And now I am handing over the mic to Vinil.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful session on the whole, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for connecting in even in your busy schedule and giving this special talk to the viewers of AU Tech Talks. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vinay. Thank you, Mallikarjun sir, for the opportunity. Thank you all.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a good evening. Bye.
Bye. I thank Yashwanth Ram sir for giving such a wonderful opportunity for sharing our platform and also giving a wonderful talk to all the viewers of AI Tech Talks. I also thank Professor P. Mallikarjun Rao Garu for giving this wonderful opportunity to host this wonderful platform. And I also thank Ramasudha Ma'am Garu and AU Computer Cell as well for supporting and making such a wonderful platform for all the students of Andhra University. I also thank my team. Thank you, Chaitanya sir. Thank you, Gautam sir, Rajesh sir, Mayur, and Nitisha and Surya as well. We will see you on the next Sunday. And at the same time, please do subscribe our channel and also like and share and subscribe to our channel and also share our channel to your friends and family so that they get benefited from the talks by the experts and also help them in shaping their careers so that they could be benefited from the talks which are given for free and also which might nurture their knowledge. So uh, thank you for joining in. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.